Yeah, so my name is Stanley Agenti. I had my bachelor's in economics from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, a first class honors. So after that, I got the DAAD scholarship to study Masters in Development Studies at the University of the Western Cape, South Africa, which I've completed, also with distinction as well. Then I also got the second scholarship, the same DAAD scholarship to study Masters in Development Management at Royal University Bochum in Germany, which I've also completed. So currently I'm in Nigeria. I work with the German government. It's called the German Center for International Migration and Development. So I have a contract with them. I'm working as an expatriate for them here in Nigeria. Yeah, so that's where I am currently.
Awesome.
That's good.
Thank you. So just one question. You can take any route you want to answer it. I want to understand first of all how you got to hear of the scholarship, how you apply for it. What are the things you did that you think helped to contribute to you getting the scholarship, as well as if there are tips you have for people that would like to also get the opportunity. In case you don't know, the DAAD he got is actually the German government scholarship. It's called the DAAD. And I think it's the biggest scholarship program in the world. Then I think after that, we now have the Mastercard Foundation scholarship, which Wilson also got. So I think we are dealing with two of the biggest scholarship programs in the world. So let's start with Stanley now. Just a bit of how you got to hear about the scholarship. What step did you take to apply? What do you think worked for you then? And also, what are the tips you have for people that may be interested in applying for such?
Told me my card. They who told me my card. My card has.
Okay, so okay, let me start. Hello, let me start from the square root. I think, especially for people who are still undergrads, so in the meeting. So I think the first thing you have to do, if you're still an undergrad, try as much as possible to get maybe a first class or a distinction. If you don't get that, it's not a problem, but try to get a very good CGPA, because most merit-based scholarships, it really helps. Yeah, so that's the first thing I'll talk about. Then the next thing I'll talk about is you should register for. There are a lot of scholarship links. There's scholarshippositions.com. There's scholars.dev. I think it's good for you to register for or subscribe to all those links, because you get to receive scholarship notifications immediately that they are open. Yeah, and also,
sorry, somebody needs to mute Ayoba me Eyaro.
Hey, Temi Donkin.
Okay, you can continue, Stanley.
Okay, so that's second. Subscribe to scholarship. This scholarship website that notify people about scholarship. So the third thing that I advise you to do, there are many WhatsApp groups that are just all about scholarships. We have a lot of students who have already gotten scholarships on those WhatsApp groups. It could be also Facebook groups and the rest. So I think it's also very important that you also belong to those groups, because you get to hear about scholarship that maybe ordinarily, if you browse or Google, you may not be able to see. Yeah, so get connected to sources that gives you information about scholarships. Okay, yeah, that's secondly. So another thing I advise you don't apply for every scholarship. Okay, maybe for example, you studied economics, you want to do a master's or PhD in economics, you don't apply for all scholarships. I would say you don't apply for all scholarships, because in applying for a scholarship, you need time to prepare your motivation letter, to prepare, maybe they may ask you to write some essays and the rest. So all these things require time. So you have to select the scholarship you apply for. I'll say I'll go for scholarships that are limited. Some scholarship may say, okay, this scholarship at Cambridge is specially meant for African students, versus another scholarship in Oxford that is meant for maybe the general public. Everybody can apply. So streamline the scholarships you apply for. Apply to scholarships that are very limited. Maybe scholarship limited to just economists, or maybe scholarship limited to just Africans. If you don't find those ones, then good, fine. Go to the general pool and apply for the general scholarship, but try and streamline your the scholarship you go for. So another thing I'll advise you, now you've gotten a scholarship, you know the scholarship you want to apply for. It is very, very important for you to browse about people who have gotten those scholarships. One way you could get that is through all these WhatsApp groups where you have a lot of maybe people who have already gotten scholarship. One way to do that is you get to those scholarship, let them know, okay, I'm applying for this scholarship. Please, is there anyone that you know about that has gotten this scholarship? So the essence about the documents, to be sure that this is, that they actually capture what maybe the admission panel wants to do. And I think that's what I did for my dad's scholarship. And Kene really played a lot of role in guiding me. Yeah, so I think without Kene played a lot of role. He helped me to ensure that my documents were correct. He helped me in preparing for the interview. And when I got there, I mean, it was like, I already knew what they were going to say. I knew everything they were going to do, and I gave it to them, and they were very impressed. And they gave me a feedback there that made me to know that, yes, I've gotten this scholarship. So it's very important for you to work with people who have gotten these scholarships already. I know the next question should be, okay, what are the other ways you could find out people who have gotten this scholarship already? You could go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, besides WhatsApp group, besides Facebook, LinkedIn is another place where I really get to meet these kind of people. Maybe I just Google Mastercard Scholar, University of Cambridge on LinkedIn. I think you should be on LinkedIn if you're not yet on LinkedIn. So it brings me a lot of Mastercard scholars. Then, okay, I'm not racist, but I have preference for my fellow Africans because I just feel more at home with an African guy than with a white guy who is a Mastercard scholar. Yeah, so that's what I do. Yeah, so that's what I do, and I think this helps a lot. So another thing I'll advise you quickly is on your reference letter, because test score depends on you have to write yourself, and reference letter is very important because if you have a very good application but your referee didn't have enough time to write something good about you, you are out. Everything you've written is wasted. I have a friend who got about 320 in GRE, everything perfect. So he was rejected. He had to send that he's surprised he was rejected. Please, can you tell me what happened? He said, okay, sorry, see, your referee didn't write anything. He just wrote like about 5 lines that you're good, you should be given a scholarship, and that was why he was rejected. So please, if possible, if you can suggest to your professors, especially if you've studied in Nigeria, you let them know that they're busy, that can you send them like a draft which they can improve on. I think that would be great because you know yourself better. You've taken your time to tell your own story. Okay, so what this professor will just do is just to do some little edits and send something nice for you. Yeah, so that's that. So another thing I want to talk on is the document to be submitted, especially for the DRR, the scholarship, the German government scholarship. They don't joke with the work experience. And these guys, they don't know. Yeah, so for example, if you are submitting an evidence of work experience and it doesn't carry a stamp, a signature, an official email address, it's finished. Just forget about it. They may not even call you to ask you this, that is out. So make sure that every document you submit looks original, is authentic, and carries maybe an official email address, official phone contact that they can easily, maybe they may not contact, but at least it shows them, yes, we want to verify this. And yeah, we can easily verify this. This looks original, this looks authentic, and stuff like that. Yeah. So what else? So very importantly, like I said, please give your cover letter to as much, especially if you're applying for masters. Give your cover letter or your motivation letter as SOP to as much persons as possible to help you go through and give you input. It is very, very, very. In fact, when I was applying for the DAT scholarship, it was an essay which I had to write. I think if I didn't give my essay to a friend, testimony, I wouldn't have gotten that essay right. The essay said write critical notes on metrics of inequality. So I missed that term, critical notes. Critical note means criticize the metrics of inequality. Talk about the strengths and weaknesses. I was just writing about the metrics of inequality. Yeah, so it was my friend who said, no, Jude, you have to criticize, don't just write general. So it's very important to share your maybe essays, your motivation letter, all those stuff with people to see and give you input. Very, very important. Yeah. So that's all I have to say. Then also lastly is I think the best way, if you have a bachelor's and you want to get to the PhD level, I think the best way of going about it is calm down, write your GRE, especially if you are in the STEM field, write your GRE and get this slightly straight. The importance of this is that after your master's, you don't get to start applying for PhD. You don't get to start going through the stress of applying for a PhD, looking for scholarships and the rest. You just go straight for a PhD. So there is no like gap year in between. Yeah. So GRE, if you want to have a PhD, if your goal is to have a PhD at the end, I think the best for you to do is take your time, 3 months at least, study for GRE, get a very good GRE score, and apply. I think you get it. Yes. So that's all I have.